Now we're live.
There we go.
There we are. Hey, everybody.
Just like that.
Just like that. That was awesome. I'm not sure what happened, but it was cool.
But it looked like it flowed right.
It looked like it was very cool. So, all right. So we're starting. I think we've all had one of those moments where it was our first time and we wish we could do it again and again and again, right? Whether you're Christmas at age 5, or you found out that Eddie Vedder is your spirit animal, or it's that first kiss, or you realizing that older women with blue hair are really attractive. Bonnaroo, that
A lot of
first.
angles there, buddy.
I know, and you can figure out where I'm going with it. But Bonnaroo, your first time is unlike anything else that I can think of, and it's one of those that I wish I could do over again and again and again, for many reasons. I wish I knew what I knew, but it was just such an amazing transformation. And so, if you're here and you're listening, it's either your first time or you're a veteran. I'm here. I'm Barry. I started the very first year, 2002. That's Brian. He's been going every year since 2002. That's Russ. He started in 2018 when we started this podcast. With us is Beth. I don't remember what your first year was. What was your first year, Beth?
Long time ago.
2004.
Oh,
Four.
four.
Yeah.
Oh, four.
So, and then Abby, who has another, also a great story, first time story, which is why you guys are here. So, the point of this show today is what you should be doing right now to get ready. So, again, we assume that if you're here, you're either a veteran, you've done it, or you're a first time. And so, we want to talk about the smart things we've done, the bad things we've done, the mistakes that we've made, the what we're doing right now to get ready. So, hey guys, how is everybody?
Good. Good.
Super
Tired.
excited to be here.
I'm doing excellent. I just got in town about an hour ago from Widespread Panic in Nashville last night. New hat, everybody. Uh, Excuse my terrible voice. It's not going to get better or only get worse. Thank you for your patience with that with today's show. But I've only done this will only be the second live show I've done with you guys. The announcement of the lineup this year and this, and so I enjoy doing the live aspect
Yeah,
of it.
we
It's
haven't
fun.
done a lot of them. So,
Yeah, hopefully we can do more.
Beth, you're on the West Coast.
I am. Yeah.
I'm actually staying at my friend's house in Seattle this weekend.
And Abby, you are where?
I'm in Missouri, Missouri.
Say misery, misery.
So we're all across the country. So we're going to talk about what we are doing right now to get ready because now is the time. Actually, all year, as we noted, as we do this every week. But Beth, you're traveling the farthest.
Yeah, let's start there if we don't care, Barry, of just
I
her coming from that far away. And you know, a lot of we talked to somebody who came from Ireland, you know, not
yeah.
long ago, Grenadine, which was a whole wild story, but 3,000 miles away or whatever it is certainly a long way. And maybe
Now, when do
Beth
you
would,
start
yeah.
thinking about it, Beth? Because let's back up a little bit. We know Beth because we
Oh,
randomly.
I start at the end of last Bonnaroo.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. But let me back up a little bit. So we know Beth because we randomly were lucky enough to camp next to you and your friends from Nashville, right? And so you've become, or we become, I don't know how you want to claim it. Either we crashed your party or you crashed our party. I'm
We
not sure.
crashed theirs.
I'm fine. But when do you start thinking about next year's Bonnaroo?
Wait a minute. We lost her.
Well, we lost Beth. Why don't we
Yeah.
jump? Why don't we jump to
Yeah.
Abby,
All right,
and we can
Abby.
ask the same question? You're
Same
not.
question.
First of all, I'm going to use that misery line next time Missouri comes up. I don't know when it will be, but I'll give you credit the first time. After that is mine. What about you? Missouri's not down the road.
No, no, it's about 8 hours from where I start to where I finish when I set up on the farm. And I think I start planning, which of course this is only going to be my second year, but I've not had a day that went by that I didn't think about Bonnaroo in some aspect, getting together with friends and deciding what the camping was going to look like, what we were going to do, how are we going to logistically make it all happen, because we all kind of come from different points in the country as well.
So how many do you connect with? I mean, your sample size is small. We know that, but is it a handful, or are you they coming from multiple states, or?
Multiple states. So our friend Katrina comes from up in Chicago. Our friends Delaney and Johnny and Tyler and Graham and Frankie, they're all coming from the Atlanta area. My friend Madison and I and Ray come from Missouri. So we all kind of migrate to the farm from these different points.
So how do you do it then? Group chats? Is it? Do you have like Google Chat? I mean, what are you guys using? Who's bringing what? All that stuff.
Yeah, so we started mapping out and deciding how we were going to go about it pretty much the month after Rue ended last year. We have a shared Google Doc, Excel sheet that lists what's needed. People sign up for different things. For those that are in Atlanta, they're signing up for those bulkier, bigger items because they have the means to get it there a little easier than those of us that are traveling way yonder. So we have the
Yeah. Yeah.
shared Google Doc, we have group chats. The girlies all have their own group chat together, and then we have like a group chat with everybody all together as well.
So who in your group is the taco of ours who gets mad as hell at the ones that don't pay attention to the Google Doc enough?
I
Yeah,
think
the
we're
one
all
who
pretty
I
says, the
lax.
I
one who,
me.
yeah, the one who says, I made a Google Doc.
No, our friend Tyler, I believe, is the one that set it all up. He did a great job, and we've all just kind of thrown right. We all get so excited, to be honest. It's not hard to get anybody to
Yeah.
contribute.
Well, don't be like me and ignore the Google Doc.
Yeah,
Google Doc.
that's
Pay attention.
is it along those lines though, seriously, is it pretty active? Everybody contributes, everybody understands that they got to bring something. You don't have any slackers.
No, we really don't. It's actually like between all of us, we're all so generous that we all want to bring everything and provide things. So we have to like be real with each other and go, okay, look, we don't need everybody to bring paper towels or why don't you let us bring these bigger items and you bring, the med kit and all the detail stuff that you're looking to bring. So it's not a fight, but we're all willing to jump in and
Well, everybody's really, wanting to contribute. That's a very common theme, I would guess, in most people's groups getting together. But yeah, you don't want 50 rolls of toilet paper or paper towels and then 2 garbage bags. Like that ain't gonna work. So yeah, you got to divvy it out. You gotta delegate very well.
So
yes.
along those lines, who's the worrier? Somebody has to be the one who says, like Brian just said, we already got 50 rolls of toilet paper. We need garbage. Who's the one who says, we're missing this, we're missing that?
That's me. I am the natural anxious Annie of the group, I think, probably. I have a fear of like I would rather have something and never use it than not have it and be freaking out about it. So I probably am the one that will end up doubling up on things secretly even though we didn't need it just because it'll feel better in the back of my mind.
All right, you said something, and I was wondering how to bring this up because you can see it's three bunch of guys. You said
Hmm.
you have your own girl chat.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit because Bonnaroo is, as we've said, and this is important. It's a week on the farm in Middle Tennessee. These are not issues that either one of the three of us ever think about, but y'all have to, right? I
Yep.
mean, yeah. So
Yeah, so we start kind of rallying of as far as like okay, planning out let's say appointments and needs and things that we want to do for our self-image that we may have going like waxes or skincare routines and all these other things. But as a female, you do worry about nature taking its course or different things on the farm. So everybody's kind of ready to prep and giving each other like tips and tricks to get through it if you are stuck with that in the heat. And I think all girls going to the farm that are worried about something like that, there's so many forums and Reddit specifically like dedicated to that, and TikToks and different things that you can look at and kind of get some ideas of how to handle the wonderful life that is the female body in under those conditions. But also, we don't want to annoy the guys in our group chat because outfits, like we're planning outfits and themes and talking about what's
Thank you for
comfortable,
that.
what's not. So we have our own
Thank
group
you for
chat
that.
to not bother them, but we do throw in the themes and they're on board and they're excited to dress up with us as well, but we don't make them sit through the 150 messages a day going back and forth about it.
So when y'all are doing your fit checks, right? You don't
Hmm.
subject that to the entire group.
No,
Even
no.
though I know it's very popular and people love it. I'm being the jerk about it, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
so again, do you have in your house a corner where everything is piled up?
So my basement just decided to start flooding a lot recently with
Oh,
all the
great.
rainy season.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Cool.
so
Nice.
everything is kind of in storage totes anyway, but that's how I travel my roof stuff is everything is neatly packed in these storage containers that just throw in the car, throw them out. They make great tables at camp and a place to set things and store things if it starts raining. You can just throw everything in the totes. So I've got a stack of those on shelving and they're all kind of labeled with what's gear, what's like accessories, what's going to be for cleaning supplies and paper towels and baggies and all that kind of junk. So everything's very gathered at this point. Hydro packs and the shoes that you don't care about that can get muddy and stuff like that's all packed away, ready to go. And then the canopy, I do need to go get out of my storage unit because I don't keep that at the house.
So one of the reasons that I was excited that you were going to join us today is because you had such a bad, well, that's not the right word. You had an,
Frustrating and nerve
Yeah,
wracking and
yeah,
anxiety
would have, it could have been
laden.
let's
bad.
let's bring Beth on
Yes.
before we get started.
Here, come
hmm
back, Beth.
Perfect.
She's coming back.
All right.
Hey, Beth.
There we
Yay.
go.
Hey,
Yay.
all right, let's see.
Way to ruin the show, Beth.
I know. Well, this is a very Bonnaroo problem because I'm at my friend's house and the Wi-Fi's just decided to stop working.
Well, we
So
started talking about the anxious groups of Abby, and then we could go around the room on this. And the whole time I'm thinking, Beth Arrow, ding 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 ding.
yeah, I'm the anxious one.
She's one of the anxious ones, but she's coming from the
Definitely.
Pacific Northwest, which, my
Yeah.
goodness, I can't even begin to think about that. We were starting to talk to you before you dropped. Let's go back to that. Just a quick, as quickly as you can put it together, your thoughts and how you get together and your plans, and to get from Washington State to Middle Tennessee in a matter of days in the first or second week of June every year.
Yeah, it's definitely complicated. My family is on the East Coast, so I try to combine trips with that, which usually makes a lot of different legs and a lot of packing for different situations.
Yeah, and East Coast, we're talking Maine.
Yeah,
So
my
like,
family's in Maine.
so
A lot of
we're
my
like
friends are in Philly. Yeah.
pin. Yeah.
Yeah, so I usually fly to Philly first and then go to Nashville and then go to Maine and then go back to Philly and then fly home. But I can't do that this year because I teach and my last week of classes overlaps with Bonnaroo. So I need to fly overnight Tuesday night to Nashville. So I just got my flight for that.
Well, part of what we were talking about was like, do you have like a corner of your room of the house where everything is packed? Your Bonnaroo stuff is packed, like I do. I have Tupperware. Everything stays in the same place. When I come home, I dry it, I clean it, and it goes right back, so
Hmm.
I know where it is. Is that how
Yep.
you are?
I would be like that. I would definitely be the party planner and bring all the fun stuff and have all the backups and everything, but I can't because I fly. And not only do I fly, but my camera is a carry-on. So my camera gear takes up one of my carry-ons. So I now keep a lot of stuff in our friend Mike's garage, which is amazing. I have a whole set of camping gear that is
And
in
he's in
Murfreesboro.
Nashville, correct?
He's in Murfreesboro,
Murphy,
yeah.
yeah, okay, Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I've just been kind of building up my collection of stuff there. I borrow a sleeping bag. I have a tent there. I have a moon mat. So it's all just waiting for me in Mike's garage.
So along those lines, what do you do like during the year, maybe March, February, March of last year, when you say, "Oh, I this would be cool. I'd like to have that." Do you buy it and ship it to Murfreesboro, or do you make him go to the local REI and get it and pick it up, or you have it
I'd
shipped to
make
his
Mike do it.
house? Do what?
I'd make Mike do
Yeah.
it personally.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
make
poor
Mike do it.
Mike. He ends up doing a lot
Not
of the
poor
legwork on
Mike.
this,
Mike's got it
but
made. Mike's
Yeah.
got it
yeah.
He
made.
doesn't care. He would do
Yeah.
it. I'm just wondering how you do that.
Yeah, I did send a lot of stuff last year. Now I pretty much have everything I need there, so it's just going to be packing clothes and camera stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I start thinking about it. I think about gadgets that I want. I mostly think about, when I'm taking photos, we're supposed to wear black, and black's the worst thing to wear
It's a little warm.
in the heat, in the sun. So right now I'm thinking about lightweight black shirts that I could find to bring. So I'm going to be shopping for that stuff.
So we were just starting to set the stage. So as I was saying, and then when your internet went away, we crashed your campsite. You and
Hmm.
the three guys from Nashville.
Yeah.
Very very cool people. Very cool to let us sort of camp next to you guys, and we've become friends. I like to hope. Um,
Yeah.
but you guys have an amazing setup, and Brian alluded to it a couple of episodes ago. You got one of those shoe racks that you
Hmm.
hang in the corner and put all of the condiments in.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, I think that I'm glad you went there real quick, because I was thinking about this earlier. I think that's a secret that's been figured out by a lot of people, possibly, but I had never seen it until the last year or two. And as a shoe holder thing, it seems like a very grandma thing to have, that I don't know why anybody would want as what it's designed for. But
Yeah.
for a Bonnaroo camp, it's perfect. It's the best shelving system, and you can just move it around. And
Yeah.
who 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 introduced that idea to y'all's group, or was that just old news that we were dumb and late to?
I'm sure that was Mike. I mean, I've seen it at other festivals that I've
Yeah.
been to, and it's the sort of thing that I would bring. But yeah, Mike is really good at thinking about the gadgets and how we're going to set it up. He added the disco ball last year. He added some lights. He's got that. He added a Blackstone so we could cook.
Yeah, that Blackstone was nice, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
we've said for years, don't cook, don't plan on cooking. You don't want anything hot. But I mean, man, that breakfast and that stir fry was
hmm,
amazing.
Yeah.
So, but he,
yeah,
what's funny is he cooked a lot of that ahead of time, right? He did the
yep,
rice and had all that. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about is if you can plan ahead and think about a Friday night meal or a Saturday breakfast or whatever, right?
I'm glad you
yeah.
said plan ahead because I did plan ahead.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Atta baby,
Oh, there we go. I knew
atta
something was
baby,
missing around here.
atta baby.
Something was missing.
All right, go ahead.
And it wasn't the second half of that panic show that left me disappointed. Anywho, we'll continue.
So Abby,
I can't be happy about anything.
Abby, does your group do that sort of thing? Do you plan meals ahead, or when you're going to have meals together, or is it all free for all?
A little bit of both. So, one of our campmates is a master chef, from what I hear, and so
Ooh,
he is like,
nice.
if you bring the things and you want it made, like I'll cook it. They do cook at the campsite a little bit. I think we're kind of on that same train. A lot of people recommended to me last year, which was like plan on like one meal a day once Thursday hits, like in Bonnaroo. The food is phenomenal. I enjoyed everything I had. So I kind of budgeted for that, and I brought a lot of snack. I'm a grazer. I don't like heavy meals when
You
it's
need a
hot.
snack. Snack,
Yeah,
snack. Protein snack, snack it up. Yep, yep. I
Yeah,
agree.
yep.
so I like beef jerky
Yep.
and stuff that was in the
Trail
cooler that
mix.
was just easy. Yeah, stuff that wouldn't melt, which my poor nutty bars, they did not make it. That's
Yeah,
something I
that
won't
ain't
be
gonna
bringing
work.
this year.
Rookie mistake there, Abby. Rookie mistake.
All right.
Well, what I'll say about my camping over the last 20 some odd years, it's changed so many times, and it's kind of so much like everything else in my life. About 20 years ago, I was a little ahead of the curve. 10 years ago, starting to get behind it. Now, I don't know what's going on with the latest and best and greatest. I think a shoe thing hanging on the side is like the greatest innovation I've ever seen, and it's like, well, yeah, where you been, man? But to reset it slightly where we were about 10, 12 years ago, Barry, and then Taco, you were around about 3 or 4 years after that. You want to see a great camping spot, just come by and see us. We were the gold standard.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
it wasn't because of what we were doing as much as so many others. We had just, our network had grown so huge. And a little bit of what you guys have already talked, especially you, Abby, we're kind of talking about the delegation nature. And we did that, and it works so well until it just fades off. Things change, we move along. And, and now we're kind of wayward, lost without a home, crashed with Beth and Brad and Mike and the dudes,
And,
as she
yeah, yeah.
often refers
The
to them
dudes,
as.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're on the precipice of a new
Yeah,
great
yeah.
camp this year, and I am really excited about getting back to not just hoping I make it through the night without something falling on my tent or the weather taking me out or something like that. So
Something falling on your tent would be the best thing that could happen to that tent.
and just to ruin it.
Just get
Just
rid
so
of
you
it.
could start over and have a real tent.
I have a little hiker's camp thing that like hiker would take with him that he can set up real quick.
It's a
He or she.
shoebox. He crawls in a shoebox. It's
But it's
horrible.
so comfy once I get in there. It's tiny,
All
It's
right.
like a
So
cocoon. I'll come out as a butterfly.
along those lines, this is one of the things that I wanted to do. So Abby, especially, and both of you both have somewhat similar stories, though their timing is different. You both had occasions where you showed up and you didn't know anybody, right? Or Abby, you had your wristband stolen and you got sidetracked and you were alone and you got separated, I think, from your brother, right? And then you managed to find your whoever you were going with and you found it. So for that person who's coming for the first time, what is your best advice? Maybe it's somebody who's coming alone, or even for the first
Or
time. What is
meeting people from another state or
Yeah,
something like that.
it's got to be stressful. I mean, Brian and I have laughed about it. We're stressed and
We're
we're
the
55 minutes away. We are the
yeah.
last people on earth that need to be stressed, but we are. I can't imagine 8 hours. And Beth, I don't even know how you do it. And coming from Ireland, I no way. Not even in this lifetime am I doing that. So, what is your advice for those people who are coming for the first time? They're super excited. They're coming to a farm. They're coming for a week. I mean, what do you tell them?
Yeah, let's start with Abby. You go ahead with that one. What do you think?
So one of the things I wrote down, um, outside of like the what to do to get ready physically and what to prep for like those long car rides and getting ready that way, is to come up with a plan B like now. And I don't mean plan B like you need it very detailed, but consider like if it's raining or cold or what you're gonna do. And I guess if you're someone that would be coming alone, um, the expectations I think come back into play here of like have the idea of like finding people with similar interests, go to the shows you want, and maybe be willing to reach out, get to know people, link up, and I guarantee by day two you're not alone the rest of the festival. Everyone's just so welcoming. And then another plan B situation for like kind of like what happened similar to me or some of my group last year. What if your phone or wallet gets stolen? Like, have something kind of in the mindset of like, if this happened, here's what we're gonna do. Maybe have your password shared with somebody you trust that you can get a hold of and be like, I need to log into my bank. I need to get a hold of so and so because they have access to send me money
It's like
via
a
Venmo.
lifeline. Yeah, a little lifeline
Yeah.
there.
Just have that safety net so that the those things, if they happen, because inevitably they will to some people, you can continue on with your weekend and have a good time and move past it.
Beth, what just thoughts on first timers or first, second, third timers that are coming in different variations and best best ways to be at least not let down as much as possible.
Not have your whole week ruined.
Yeah, I mean, along with that, I think the best thing that we started doing was to put all of our phone numbers on our lock screens of our phones. So if you drop your phone, somebody picks it up, they can't get into it. But on the lock
His phone
screen,
number.
I have the dude's numbers so that somebody could then call my phone. If,
All the
if their
dudes.
intentions are good, then call the dudes, get my phone back. Um, I think I'm going to start putting some glow in the dark sort of stickers on things because just for camera gear and everything like that. I've been finding that I drop things and everything's black and I can't find it. So I'm going to put more, neon or glow in the dark stickers on things, which is not about meeting people. So meeting people, if I lived closer, I would bring a lot of gadgets that people wouldn't think of that they might need, like the mallet that Russ has for stakes for your tent and just a lot of little random camping things that people who don't camp don't always think about, and that's a really good way to make friends because you see that somebody needs something, you have it to offer them, and that's how you kind of start conversations
That's
with
a good one.
camping
That's a
neighbors
good
and
one because
friends.
after 20 years, I still don't have that mallet, and I still don't have
Hmm.
the things, the simple things.
Yeah,
That's a
see,
good one.
I mean, I like to
Yeah,
think
nobody
that's
has everything.
I like to
Yeah.
think that's me, but we also had Denson in our group. Denson, as I've joked many times, Denson is the guy, you'd say, I need a hammer. And he'd say, what do you need, a ball peen or you need like a 20-ounce roofing hammer? I mean, what are we talking about? Because he's got it.
Yeah, he's the classic, the guy that gets the nickname the mayor, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was our mayor
He's the hunter, the
yeah,
fisherman, he's got the knife, he's got the extras, stakes for. So
yeah.
yeah, if you're somebody who lives close and therefore you can, bring that kind of stuff, duct
Hmm.
tape, rope, extra camp stakes,
Police tape,
tarps, police
caution
tape.
tape,
Yeah,
caution tape.
caution tapes. We have that. Yeah. What else along?
People think twice before they tear that caution police tape
Yeah,
apart.
yeah.
Yeah, they
What else?
do.
But tarps, extra tarps, bungee cords, zip ties.
warm
And
clothes, because a lot of people don't know that it gets cold at
It
night.
can.
So
It
if I
can.
could, I'd bring extra sweaters and
I'll
stuff for
get I'll
people.
give you a
Yeah,
perfect
extra blanket.
example. Yeah, exactly. Extra warmth of all the way around. It doesn't happen every year, but it happens a
Hmm.
lot. And I'll give you a good example. I was in Nashville last night. It's a very warm day, almost 80 for the high. We're about 10 degrees lower than we're expecting, in a month and a half. But it got down to about 65 last night. Well, 65 doesn't sound that chilly,
we've had a
except for
fire. We've
except
had a
for a
fire in the chimney all day.
except for a little
So
bit of a
from
wind, a little bit of a wind comes through there,
yeah,
and all of a sudden
Yeah.
the whole damn place is freezing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just your body temperature just dropping, and a lot of factors there too. So yeah, people have trouble. They like, it's the, oh, thanks mom, I don't need a jacket. Actually,
Hmm.
you do, son. Get a jacket.
Yeah.
Russ, you're the one for this. You do this every weekend pretty much. You have the bus, you camp all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
so you can literally, if I called and said, "Hey, let's go camping," you could do it.
Yeah,
I
let's
could do
go.
it. I could get in the bus and drive off right now and have pretty much everything I need.
So
Yeah.
what do you have? What are your go-tos
Like
that
the
you have all the
essentials.
time? Yeah.
I have everything you just mentioned. I've got tarps, I've got bungee cords, I've got zip ties, I've got tools, I've got a hammer like the mallet. I've got extra tent stakes, I've got rope,
He's got
I've got
alternate
extension
power in
cord.
that bus too, by the way, that he can run a whole
Yeah, I have a dual
separate
battery set up.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got cables, I've got adapters. I mean, it's all stuff that at some point back in the past, I was like, oh man, I really need this. And then I'll
Or
come home
somebody
and I'll
next
get
to
it and
me
I'll just,
will.
yeah, or somebody else needs it. Yeah, it's not always necessarily what I need, but just stuff that has come up. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll put that in the bus and then it'll just live there. Luckily, it's got tons of cabinets, tons of storage, stuff under the seat, so I can really pack, everything. So at this point, it's like what's not in there might be an easier answer, but
See,
yeah,
Russ is very,
first
very
aid kit.
valuable but Russ is very valuable to this show and to our campsite and to our entire experience. Unlike me, who understands all these things as it's happening, like, oh, we could use all these things. I'm done. I'm off, and then I never think about it again. He makes
Russ
the
will have
mental
it.
note, fills it
Yep.
in, kind of like
Hmm.
it's a symptom of the pay attention to the Google Docs, bro.
Yeah, Russ will have it.
That's what it
But you
is.
also, in when we were talking about doing this show a couple of days ago, Russ, and I think you wanted to make the point, and I think it's very important. Car maintenance.
Yeah,
Beth, you're flying. Abby, are you driving? You guys are
Yeah.
driving. So let's talk about getting the car ready. I mean, how important is and when does that start? Again, I think now is the time, right?
I
We're
think
a
now is the
month.
time.
We're a month out. Make sure your tires are good, your engine's good, your oil's changed. Whoever's driving, i- is ready, right?
Keep track of your
Yeah,
keys. Bring an extra key
Ooh,
an
for
that's a
extra
good
key
one.
something
is
and write a
is a
note
huge
where it
thing.
is.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, don't put it in the
Um,
glove compartment.
no,
Hmm.
my recommendation for an extra key is on Amazon. You can get like a magnetic box that's just big enough to hold a key, maybe, and you can just kind of stick it under the
It's
frame of
like
your
under the
car,
wheel well or something.
under the wheel well, or yeah, somewhere up there, just so that if your keys do get lost or they get locked in or something, you have a way to actually get in. That could save you a lot of headache. AAA has been a huge one for me, um, just from because I've got I guess the platinum or whatever, because I actually end up using it just about every year. Remember a couple months ago, I got stuck on the side of the
Yeah.
highway
Yeah.
with a broken accelerator cable. AAA had to come out and tow me out. But even if you don't need a tow, AAA will bring you. They'll come and jumpstart you. Get
They'll
your battery
unlock you too, I
set.
think, right?
They'll send a locksmith if your car's locked in. You know, they'll come bring you gas if you run out of gas. I mean, they'll pretty much save you no matter what. And it helped me, I guess, a year ago now. I was shaking knees in Atlanta. I was parked in a parking garage. I wasn't camping, but I stayed in a hotel. I got out Sunday morning and went to leave. Battery was dead. So, AAA came out and jumped me off. So yeah, I would say now is the time to get ready. If you're close to an oil change, go ahead and get it done. Especially if you got a long trip. Um, check stuff like your tires, tire pressure, tire tread. If you don't, Or you could take it somewhere if you don't know how to check all that. You could take it to a shop and just tell them, "Hey, I've got a big trip coming up. Can you just go through the checklist?" Because if you need a tire or you need a something, rather get it done now than go down the side of the road and end up getting stranded.
Abby, I saw you shaking your head. Is it worth pre-packing just to make sure everything you guys think, if you're bringing four people, is it worth pre-packing to make sure it's all going to fit?
So I got a new car in January that has a third row even option. So
Oh,
I don't
hey.
think this year I'll need to do that, but last year I definitely did because I drive about 2 hours from where I live and pick up others. This year I'm only picking up one other and then leaving from there. So by the time all of our stuff gets packed in, it's like, okay, how are we going to do this? Now I have so much room. But yes, it is worth it, and you should do it because you need to make sure you can see while you're driving and that you're going to be comfortable. Because last year I rode in the back seat like this for 8 hours.
There it is.
And
Mhm.
For
Yeah,
8 hours.
eight
so,
hours.
because we had like cases of water, and by the time you get it all in there, and it's like, well, we already have it, we need it, we gotta go. So, definitely pack it, unpack it. Another tip would be check like your windshield wipers and like little things that you maybe wouldn't think about. Make sure that those function because it is kind of scary to be driving in a new place and not really know where you're going and having crappy visibility. And also make sure you check laws of states you're driving through as far as like having things around your license plate,
Or hanging
Mm-hmm.
from
um,
your mirror.
Yep.
hanging from your
Yeah,
mirror.
Yep.
Like stuff that's legal in my state is not legal in Tennessee. Like I have to take my license plate cover
Yeah,
off and
Tennessee
different
is getting
things.
that's correct.
weirder
Yeah.
and weirder about that. It's bothering us a little bit. Another topic for another podcast. But yes, check the
And
laws, especially also too with alcohol laws state by state,
Hmm.
how much you can have. Most people don't get bothered with that, meaning from law enforcement, but it is very much a law. State lines, alcohol changes. Every single state has their own alcohol laws. So do at least understand that and know that if you have 50 cases of beer and you get in trouble, if
Or
for
you're crossing state
anything,
lines, yeah.
50 cases is way, 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 way. It's smoking the bandit like style. And if you got a cop that doesn't like it, you're going to have a bad time there too. But
Yeah,
also,
it,
that's a
it
very good
is.
point, Abby. Thanks for bringing it up.
You're not supposed to have anything from hanging from your rearview mirror in Tennessee, and not
Yeah.
that you will get pulled over just for that.
But
But
the,
every
No, they
cop, every
do.
state trooper knows it's Bonnaroo weekend. They're going to be
yep,
looking at every car a
it
little
is
more
a,
closely.
yep. Revenue
So
Enhancement Week in
yeah,
Tennessee, and the
the mo-
Tennessee
the
Department of Transportation knows
the more
this and takes full advantage
the
of it.
the
Yeah,
more
I
you
bet.
can do to blend in with traffic, and so don't paint Bonnaroo or Happy
There
Roo or
you go.
anything on your car.
I
Don't.
know it's
yeah,
so
Yeah.
hard to not do that
Don't
because
put
it's
a don't
so
put a
neat.
marijuana
no,
leaf. Yeah, don't on your window.
That is a
mm,
suggestion that
Pull me
almost
over. Pull
that
me
almost
over.
none of you listening to this, God bless you for being fans and being here for this show today. So many of you will not listen to this because 10, 15 years ago I wouldn't have listened either. Don't pay your car up.
Yeah.
When you get there, go nuts. But
Well, yeah.
the
Once you
drive
get there,
there.
it's fine. But you want to be incognito
But
for
it
the
is
whole
fun.
drive
But
there.
guys, but it's so fun driving down the road for 10, 5 hours, and then you see the Bonnaroo people, and they're your people just as much as if you were in Centeroo. There's our Bonnaroo people.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But
yeah.
still,
All right. So
Speaking of Bonnaroo people, do you want to read a few comments? We
yeah,
got.
yeah,
yeah,
Are you pull,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot we were live.
Dan says, I think Dan Sweeney was one of our Patreons at some point, or he says,
I like
Brew
how this
season, keep it
pops
out
up.
an eye out for Memorial Day sales. It's a good idea. That's a good point. If you
Oh,
need some
before
gear,
in
Mhm.
prior, like what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. As soon
yeah,
as Memorial Day is over, you're gonna get a bunch of different, many things that could work somehow in any way, in any creative way on the farm.
good
Along those
point.
lines, I'd
Uh,
like to ask
oh,
Dan what is he looking for? What's he hoping to
sorry.
go get? That's one of my questions that I wanted to ask everybody today. What's the because Russ, you and I've talked about like I brought a fan last year, Beth,
That was
the
awesome.
battery,
Yeah,
and then we saw I guess Brad Parker told us about a mister which you can add
Like with a 5-gallon bucket or something.
yeah water to those fans and it shoots
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
coming.
Barry, let's
That's
tell
coming,
you,
Beth.
Beth was impressed.
All right.
Beth was
That's good to
impressed
know.
with the with the
Yeah.
fan.
The
Yeah,
fan was
Yeah, the
awesome.
fan. That was key. Yeah.
So that's what I want to ask everybody. What's your REI or your whatever? What's the thing you're getting this year that you're adding to your camp? So
Beth, let's start with you. What do you got? Anything new that you're thinking about,
I don't know. For me, it's always just packing efficiency and figuring it out
or a
because you can
wish list, or a
use,
wish list for someone
yeah,
else?
what do
Like
you
I don't
want one of
know,
us to
yeah,
bring?
maybe I could
yeah,
do it.
yeah. I mean, we should
Please don't
maybe
ask me.
more than one fan would be good because just that cross ventilation. Because it was so hot last year that you kind of need to have some kind of fan situation.
And not just a
Um,
fan, but a way to power it, right? Because remember that it uses
It was
yeah,
battery
Milwaukee
operated. It was
batteries.
awesome.
most
Yeah,
importantly,
have
yeah.
a few extra
Hmm.
batteries charged up that you can swap out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm always thinking too about, I mean, I think packing efficiency is an art that I'm always working on. Last year I did a couple of Instagram stories about trying to pack as much as you can into a small space and
Hmm.
how to do all that. So I use those I tried using the space saver bags where you suck the air out so you can get more stuff into a duffel bag. But note that that makes it incredibly heavy. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really,
And you got to carry it back.
yeah, it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah,
Well,
you,
then
you
I
can't
just
you
left it
can't.
all at Mike's.
Oh well.
All right,
Oh,
now
there you
I
go.
could
Leave
just keep
everything at
leaving more and
Mike's.
more stuff at his house. Yeah, I'm gonna start expanding to your houses soon too,
fair enough.
I
so it's
got
not
room.
too much in his garage. Yeah.
All right. So what's the
Um.
next? Go
Do we
ahead.
want to go back to
Yeah.
comments?
Yep,
We
yep.
got
I'm sorry,
sidetracked.
I
Okay.
hijacked the comments.
All right. Johnny says first time going solo this year. He's been using us as his main resource to get ready. So
All right, thanks, Johnny. I hope
Awesome.
you
thanks,
have a
guys.
blast
Mm,
day. Year one.
Hopefully
It's
this
gonna be a
helps.
wild one. It's gonna be a wild
Yeah.
one for you. No matter what, it's gonna be a wild one for you.
Adam and Anastasia says first time in 24, also from Missouri. Missouri, about 5 hours and came in
All you
Lansing.
miserable people
Miserable people.
That's why we need Bonnaroo.
to
Yeah.
save your soul.
Daniel says love hearing Bonnaroo talk on us Sundays.
So do I.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So
We got says Lee says love the pod. Excited to be back this year for my second Roo. Hope to be back every year that I can going forward.
And then I like another one of this from Dan on talking about on driving in as inconspicuously as possible. Dress like you're going to church. Drive like you're going to see grandma. There it is. That's the answer. That's the answer. It's
love
not
it.
sexy. It's not sexy, but it's safe.
I love it. That's awesome.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, and he does mention backup batteries too. That's oops, wrong one. There we go. Yeah, backup batteries, the Ryobi
Yeah,
mixing
Ryobi.
fans, especially if it's a kind of gear that you can use, the common batteries on that you can swap, mix and match and stuff.
And Ryobi's the very a fairly decently priced
Yeah.
stuff for sure. Abby, we were talking. We got started before we went to there. Things you're thinking about this year, new that maybe are going to enhance the camping experience. Have you and your group chats talked about that?
So yes and no. I feel like we've kind of had such a great setup, but I'm camping not under a canopy this year, but they have an RV. The group in
Ooh,
the
look at
camp.
Abby over here.
I
She's
know, and
RVing it.
so,
fancy.
Year two, she's already RVing it.
but listen, I also bought a camping pass, so I will have with the other half of the group that is still tent camping. Like I'll have a plot with them. My car will be there. My tent will
Satellite
be there.
camping.
I
I've
can
been.
kind of like see whatever mood I'm in and go. So I don't know that there's really many improvements. I think that the wonderful world of Reddit and the experienced Rue goers in the group kind of have it down. Other than maybe this year for the RV area, we are adding. We're going to make sure that we pay for a backup generator to make sure devices and things and everything stays charged.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
last year I had camp neighbors that were wonderful and had something like that, so my stuff always stayed charged. And I got a new hydro pack, so I'm ready to drink a bunch
There
of
you go.
water and stay
I,
hydrated.
I have a feeling that your satellite camp over there with your buddies with the tents and stuff are going to be. I wonder where Abby is. Haven't seen her in a while.
Once you sit down in that
Where's
RV,
she been?
you're never going
Yeah.
back to your car camp. Yeah.
So let's talk about the first timer. Here's how it's going to go, right? You're going to travel, whether it's 1 hour or 10 hours, whatever. You're going to be super excited. You're going to get in line. You're going to be confused. You're going to pull in. They've, thankfully, they fixed the time, less than an hour. You're going to get out of your car, and then what? And that's kind of what I'm looking at. What's your, I mean, I have my list. Bring a good attitude, bring a very positive attitude, get to know your neighbors immediately, take a minute, get set up, right? Get somewhat set up.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be fast. You don't. It doesn't have to just pop right up. You can spend some time on it.
We always kind of did, but we've done it. So I mean, that's like in my mind. I want to get my tent. I want to get all that, and then I want to sit down. I want to then pop a beer,
Yeah.
whatever, drink, whatever. But if I'm first time, I mean, I gotta think I gotta go. I gotta go. I want to go see everything.
So anxious. Yeah.
So anxious. Take a minute. Take a look around. Get oriented. Right. Not just who's next to you, but landscape. Because, and here's the thing. I guess I'm trying to say is, it's going to change. You think you've got your landmark. It ain't gonna look like
Oh,
that.
you mean like your environment's gonna look different?
Everything, just
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
change. It's gonna change
Like, oh
many,
yeah,
many
this
times.
will be easy to find, and then like 24 hours later, it looks like
Yeah,
you're in
what the hell?
another
Who's it?
state,
Yeah,
doing a new festival all of a sudden.
right. Uh, and you want to you're pent up. You want to shotgun beers. You want to hit the tequila. You want to do whatever,
And you can do that.
and you
Just
can
be
do
careful.
that.
Just
And I'm not saying you
go
shouldn't.
slow.
But again, as we've said many, many times, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Especially if you're getting there on Tuesday, you want to be there on Monday, right? So, talk about that. How you guys sort of in your group, how do you deal with the whole thing? That first day.
Trying to keep excitement in check enough to get things
And
effectively
Beth, you're
and
working, so
efficiently
you're
done.
with us, so you're in a different. I assume I don't. I assume you don't get out of the car that way.
I hope
Like,
I'm going to be working. Yeah, I can say though the first year, my first Bonnaroo, um, I I think we flew. I can't remember if I flew or drove, but anyway, I whichever it was, I wasn't wanting to go to the bathroom all the time, so I was dehydrated. I didn't drink enough water that day, and I didn't realize that it was night. It didn't seem very hot, but I ended up in the medic tent the first day I was at Bonnaroo because I was so dehydrated. They had to
wow.
inject fluids or whatever. So that's my number one thing is just drink a bottle of water as soon as you get there, even if you don't feel hot or you don't feel like you're sweating, because the travel is just going to dehydrate you, and that can really mess up your experience at the beginning.
That's a great tip.
Um, Also, things like watermelon are good. They used to sell those big salted watermelon slices. And that's what finally brought me back to life in that situation
Oh
because
yeah,
I
that
just
sounds good.
ate some watermelon with salt on it and it rehydrated me enough to be able to
I
enjoy the
like the sound of
experience.
that.
Should we bring a big watermelon this year?
I think we should.
Yeah,
As long
Put
as
it
it's
y'all
on the
don't,
really
list.
good.
as
Put it
long
on
as
the
you
list.
don't plug a thing of vodka in the back of it, I'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stuff like
Or you
that. I mean,
can just tell me which one's
Or
which.
two watermelons?
yeah. I do think salty snacks too. You got to remember salt because you're sweating so much that you're getting rid of all that. So I eat Fritos
Hmm.
all the time when I'm at Bonnaroo because I just need that salt. Um,
Yeah, when so I think Abby you said beef jerky earlier. One of you did. I mean, it's the
Beef
yeah,
best.
jerky.
It is the power packed protein. It's salty necessity for me of
Hmm.
Bonnaroo.
Our
Let
man,
junk
Hmm.
food be your friend in this weekend.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
Yeah, I
junk
think
food with protein and
if you
salt.
have any
Yeah.
downtime at all, if you're back at camp, if you're just sitting in a chair, you need to be drinking water. You need to be munching on something, protein,
Hmm.
salt, snacks,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
all
Animal
the time.
crackers and peanut butter for me is a simple one.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
don't rely on spicy pie every time you're hungry.
No,
Don't do it.
Right. Right. Liquid IV. Bring liquid IV or Gatorade, something like that
yeah,
Liquid
for
IV, that's the stuff
electrolytes.
you put in the
You just,
water, right?
yeah, which is
Yeah.
the type
Yeah,
of thing I can bring because it's just a little packet that you add to your
Just
water.
super loads of electrolytes and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Propel makes a good one too. That's what I did
Propel.
last year. Every morning I woke up, drank a 16-ounce water bottle with one of those Propel electrolyte packets, and that pretty much kept me going for the 6 days.
you know,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
like what you just said. The routine. That's another thing. Maybe, especially if you're not used to doing this kind of thing. Like I don't camp. I mean, this is the only time of the year that I camp.
This is me and Barry both. This is it. Outside of
Yeah,
that, give me a double tree hotel and I'm ready to go.
yeah. So try to get into a routine. When you wake up, hit a bottle of water. When you go back to camp, hit a bottle of water. When you go in, if you're like in Centeroo and you've got the backpack, fill it up. Drink the water, take a sip, that type of
Yeah.
thing. Get a snack because what to your point, Beth, what happens is you don't realize, and it's nighttime, and you haven't eaten or you
Hmm.
haven't had any water, and
Right.
it's
it's
you're
happened to me. Yeah.
it happened to
Yeah.
you, yeah. You're getting ready to go hard because somebody's coming on at 2 a.m. and you're in Centeroo and you haven't eaten.
Well, sure. I
Hmm.
mean, like, think alcohol, any kind of THC consumption, coffee consumption, and then snacking on protein. Those can all mask your hunger for many people.
Hmm.
They can make you
Yep.
think you're not hungry. Now, the protein's good for you for a little bit of energy, but you don't want beef jerky for your dinner either, right? So you got to keep that in mind too. That spicy pie is good later on when you need when you need some food in you, like some actual nourishment. So that's another thing. I forget about it all the time because I don't really like to eat. I'm having fun. I don't want to stop and eat, but
Right.
Hmm.
you got to keep that in mind too.
And along those lines, and here's another thing that's part of the code: look out for your buddy, and look out for somebody you don't know. I mean, if you see
Hmm.
somebody sitting under a tree that doesn't look right, you know, get them a water, check
Yep.
on them.
Sometimes that's hard to tell because some of those people are peacefully asleep.
I know,
They don't look like they are.
and it's also, I mean, you'd like to think it's normal, but not. We don't always do this, but at Bonnaroo, that's the code. Take
Sure,
care of
sure,
other people.
sure.
So if you see somebody
Hmm.
that looks like they're struggling, help. You know,
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's resonated really well over the years.
absolutely.
Hey, we
Just say,
want
hey
to
man, are you okay? You need a
look.
water?
Yeah.
We
It
want to
never
pull
hurts
up.
to ask.
We want to pull up some comments. I see them coming in there,
We got more
Russ.
comments coming
Yeah,
in.
let's check a
Yeah.
few out.
And I think this one's for Barry because I think he's done this. Jay says, how do we feel about air mattress on a bed of a truck underneath a canopy versus cots for sleeping?
That
Thanks and
is
love, that's a
Barry's
lot.
account. Barry, you go for it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen both, man. My first or second year, man, I parked next to a guy who he had his truck all tricked out. It was awesome. He had to put tarp over it and slept in the bed. It was great. I've done the air mattresses. I like them as long as they don't leak. Last year, I bought one of these big boy, fat boy cots. Works pretty well for me. Slept like a baby. That was an extra buy. I also bought one of those tents that clips onto the Easy Up.
Yeah, I
Got
like them.
that last year. I'm pretty excited about that. So the Easy Up becomes your living room and your place to hang out, as we all did. We put yours, Beth. You guys have yours, and then we clip mine next to yours, and then my tent clips right onto the side of it. I like that a lot. So there's lots of different ways. I don't know
Yeah.
what's right or wrong there.
We got Pondo in chat too. He says, Pondo approved camping ideas. So shout out to Pondo.
Hey,
Looking
man.
to meet up with you again this year now that you're back on the farm.
Throw
Yeah.
throw up John's there. I want to let, in case anybody doesn't know, this stop, the Bucky's one
This one,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Love going to Bucky's on the way to Rue and loading up on jerky. Highly recommend it.
So, I mean, I'm guessing most people are getting pretty aware of the Bucky's thing, but if you're not, there are a couple of them on the in the a 1,000 mile radius of Chattanooga going in a circle. If you want jerky, if you want snacks, if there, I mean, it's a wild store. If you've never checked out a
Yeah.
Bucky's and they're nowhere near where you live, I'd go ahead and give Bucky's a look on your way in.
I
Well,
love
going
Buc-ee's.
back to earlier, and Russ, I was hoping you would mention it because I think it's one of your notes. Before you get to Manchester, stop at a gas station and fill up your tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't pull into that line on a quarter tank. You
Or
don't
even
want
a
to,
half.
or a half. Yeah, you fill up. Make sure everything's working. You got gas. I mean,
Yeah,
God
because
forbid
that
you're stuck
uncertainty,
in.
if you're just sitting there thinking, oh, am I going to make it? That's just going to add to your stress level. And it's
Yeah,
probably already high if you're trying to get in and get set up. So,
yeah,
one more thing
Well,
to
and
give you peace of mind is a full tank of gas. And that way, when you leave Sunday or Monday, whenever
yeah.
you leave,
No, you just roll right out.
you just roll right out.
I mean, there's memes about it these days of the needing gas. Oh, I'll just get it in the morning.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah,
won't, and
you
you'll
and
want to kill.
80,000 people.
Stop. Don't do it. I mean, do it. Don't not do it.
And along
Yeah,
those
do it
lines,
outside of Manchester if you can, because Manchester only has so
Yeah,
many
yeah,
gas stations.
yeah.
that's right. And along those
Winchester or
lines,
something like that.
and I
Yeah.
heard Brad Parker, I guess he was on with Rubus guys, and I never really thought about this because, of course, we tend to do it differently, but everybody focuses on the going in and the time, but we don't really talk about leaving on Monday morning and that wait time.
Hmm.
His advice was, if you think you're going to leave 10 minutes after the last note of the headliner on Sunday, you and everybody else is going to leave at that time. So you're
Yes.
going to be stuck in traffic. Maybe give it a minute, give it an hour or two. Or if you're going to leave, you think you're going to roll up when you wake up at 9:30 casually, have a little breakfast. So is everybody else. So,
Yeah. The
just
And
only
don't schedule a flight for Monday because I have accidentally done that before because you think, oh, the festival ends on Sunday, I'll just fly out on Monday. Do not
Right,
do
plenty of
that.
time.
It's
That's a good
yeah,
one. That's a real
yeah.
good one. What else you
yeah.
got
Mhm.
along those lines? Because we don't. It's not something I think about.
I was just going to say, I think that for people who don't live in that region, if you don't live in Tennessee, because the first time I went, I was going from Maine. Now I'm going from Washington, very different climates. So do everything you possibly can to acclimate to how hot that's going to be, whether it's turning the heat on in your house, making yourself uncomfortable because you can't really think of what you need to pack when you're not in that environment. And then it's shocking when you get into that
Good point.
heat. So that plus walking in whatever shoes you will be walking in at Bonnaroo, because you'll
That's a
walk a
good,
lot
yeah.
farther than you would ever expect. And
Because
just
you
a
might
different
you
type
might
of
have some
walking.
super awesome running shoes or whatever, and then you
Yeah.
walk around here, but you're not wearing your $200 running shoes to Bonnaroo. You're gonna wear those concrete soled New Balances, which are
Hmm.
fine too, but make sure your feet are used to them and ready to put possibly 80,000 steps, right?
Yep.
Maybe
Yep.
70 to 90,000 steps over the course of 4 days. And I'm just making up
Hmm.
numbers, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a
It's a
lot.
lot more than you think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about that. And it's on a farm. So you're talking now. They have paved a lot, so you're not quite as gravel road as it used to be, but it's still bumpy terrain. It's a farm. Uh, I shoes was the big topic 20 years ago when I was first going
Yeah.
because it was like don't wear you had to have chacos. Don't wear flip flops because you're gonna get it stuck in the mud
Don't
and
wear
you're
your
gonna lose.
Birkenstocks. I don't know how.
Don't wear your Birkenstocks.
They're
You're
the
gonna lose them.
coolest. They're the coolest look ever. A, you're gonna ruin them. B, you're gonna lose them.
You're gonna lose them in the mud. And
Beth will like this because she just got back from fish the other day, and I've dropped this many times because it's one of the only fish lyrics I can remember. Whatever you do, take
Take
care of
care
your
of your
shoes.
shoes. Yes.
And
Yep.
that is a song lyric worth living by.
so I have done
Yeah.
cheap $10 Walmart shoes, and they're not comfortable. So Brian, back to your point, I'm almost like my $200 Hokas. Maybe wear the old ones,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
don't care if I lose them,
if you're
but
already
it be
gonna
comfortable.
be getting, if that's in your rotation of
Yeah.
stuff. I just meant if like you
Yeah.
have your one
No,
nice
no.
pair,
Yeah, yeah.
you might not. I guess the point to that is just whatever you know you're gonna wear while you're there. That's what you need. And Beth, you were saying it. That's what you need to be get acclimated to,
Yeah.
because you can easily think, oh, there's no big difference. Trust me, there's a difference when you're, I mean, what, 100-fold the amount of times you're normally going to walk. You can
Yeah.
walk on a treadmill every day until you get there. It's good, do it, but it's still not the actual reality of what you're doing.
That
Yeah,
also
backup pair of shoes
to
isn't a bad idea either.
Yeah, definitely.
Abby and the girl talk, and the the dressing up and the kit or whatever. If you think glitter is a great idea at noon, think about it. Or whatever your costume is. You're going to be in that thing all day long, whether it's hot, cold, sticky, sweaty, runny.
Hmm.
Think about it. You know.
Well, and a lot of people don't think about that. If you're not somebody that drinks 40, 60 or more ounces of water a day, but suddenly you are, your body's going to swell. And so clothes that
Hmm.
maybe fit you when you're in, like Beth said, your comfortable AC home, they're going to fit a lot different when your body is trying to save itself from dehydration and heat exhaustion. So
Hmm.
either make things a little bit more comfortable for you, size up, or think about that when you're planning these outfits that you're like, I can handle it for like 2 or 3 hours at a typical concert. Sure, but can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
handle it
Yeah.
for 15 hours in the heat, sweating, chafing, all the things that go along with those things? And start drinking water now so your body's used to that and isn't waterlogged a week or two out from the festival. Start
Good
now.
idea. I hadn't thought
Hmm.
about it like that.
Yeah, chafing,
Yeah.
sunburn, those are real.
Hmm.
And they make for a long, horrible time.
We talk about the screen and sun all the time because every single person alive knows the sun can do damage to you. That chafing thing,
Yeah, yeah.
woo, that will ruin a weekend. And
Monkey butt,
it's been a
monkey butt.
long time since I've let that happen. But when I did, I mean, I was like,
Yeah.
I've ruined my life.
If
I ruined my
somebody,
life. I've ruined Bonnaroo.
if you're listening, and if monkey butt is not on one person in your group's list, it needs to be.
Well, and Beast in our chat, I want to
Yeah,
give you the
whatever
credit for
the
saying
powder is,
the
but yeah,
credit for Beast bringing it up. Gold Bond.
gold bond,
Um,
monkey butt,
uh,
whatever.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, the Gold Bond is my always been my festival performance enhancing drug, and so
that guy's the hero. You don't know it, but that guy on
yeah,
Friday when he brings out the gold bond is the
yeah,
hero in the group.
yeah. Beast says Gold Bond and Tums are a must, and that
There
is
you
very
go.
true.
Hmm.
Bring
Yeah.
the antacids as well.
There you
Excuse
go.
me, I'm so sorry about my voice.
You said clothes. That reminded me, Abby. Yeah, prepare for that sort of thing. And we talked about it, Beth. You did. Prepare for hot. Prepare for cold. Prepare for rain. Um, all of those kind of things. It's hard to do, but you have to.
Well, you don't want to overdo it, but you'd rather overdo it than underdo it. Let me ask you this real quick, Abby. Do you and the girlies and anybody in your groups is costumes a big part of your experience? Or and I don't maybe not costumes, but just extravagant dressing up that you wouldn't normally do for your regular extracurricular activities.
Yeah, good question. So I think that we kind of go with themes a little bit. There's
That's
a
good.
lot of websites that offer clothing that is specifically geared towards festivals, so it's made to be comfortable and a little more extravagant, but it's still simple in the foundation of it. So there's a few different websites you can go to that will offer that, and so you get the best of both worlds. But there also is a lot of rave wear or what that EDM crowd wear for sure that is not made for Bonnaroo. Like it's cute
Yeah.
in theory, but it is not made to be outside and in the elements, let alone jumping around, walking around for 5, 6, 10 miles a day. So we do plan that, but we do kind of more of like a bug theme day or a referee day or a Cybertron day, or so we're able to.
Cybertron.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
like
for
it.
that one
I
this
like it.
year.
I like it. Go ahead. I'm
So
sorry. Go ahead. I'm just.
no, no, we have fun with it, but we do keep in mind being comfortable and taking care of our bodies to, yes, get through the marathon and not just for a cute Instagram pic. We're making sure that we're living the best of both worlds there.
Russ, I think you used them in Atlanta, right? But the idea of lockers, they have lockers in media, Beth, and that's I mean that's inside
Game
baseball and
changer. Yeah.
first world
Yeah,
stuff.
we
But
just used them last year for the first time, but there's lockers all over the farm.
Well, yeah, you can rent them. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. What a great
Hmm.
idea, right? So you come in the morning and it's 4,000 degrees and you're not thinking about rain or cold, but you can put
Yeah.
a jacket or a different pair of shoes or whatever in a locker. They're not cheap, right? Aren't they 60, $70 or something?
No, but I bet it's
No, they're
worth
not
it.
that much. I
I
don't think they're that
I
much.
think they
But
were
they're
about $70 last year.
Uh,
yeah.
Wow.
it's probably worth it if you take full advantage of it. Abby, do you know anybody who's has used that? Use that
No,
luxury. I'll basically call it a luxury.
no, I did see on Reddit people that were like in their groups, like they all split it as a
Yeah.
cost and just put their jackets or things in for that night, especially people that were
S-
Thursday or Friday
Sunscreen or
arrivals
something like
that
that.
were way out,
Yeah.
further out on the farm and had a trek. Those that were kind of closer to center didn't have to worry about if they needed to run back to camp. I carry a hydro pack that has a lot of room. I mean, I can put half of my wardrobe for the week in there if I really finagle it. So it's all also about like how your storage walking into center, making sure you have what you need, and then it's on your person and you're not missing a show to like run back and get anything.
yeah, you could split
And
a
I would
locker
make a
with someone
list
too.
too. Make a list of what you're going to need now, not when you're in the heat or hungover or whatever that is. Have a list of what you need to bring into Centeroo. Well, you can,
Yeah.
we have the time right now to think about this stuff. So I think that can be helpful
Yeah.
just to remember what you need.
What are you gonna say, Russ?
I was saying you could split a locker with someone too. I mean, they're not huge, but if you just need one or two things, you could split the cost and both have access to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking. I mean, again, there's so many uses, but sunscreen, just some bottles of water unopened that they'll be
Hmm.
hot, but they're still just hey, I mean, that's just two that popping in my mind. Gold Bond, all the
Yeah.
things we're
Advil.
already talking about.
Advil.
Advil,
Yeah, Advil. Yeah.
Meds, if you
And
need
a lot of
if you got to
Advil.
take a twice a day med or something. I don't know how that works, but to
Yeah.
along
Someone
those
mentioned.
lines,
Sorry, someone mentioned Dollar Tree for picking up all that stuff. You can get a lot of stuff cheap for just
yeah.
uh,
Oh, absolutely.
extras.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Walmart has two aisles of like $2 shampoos and all
Hmm.
that stuff. Go now. That's another good point. Now's a good time, which is the point of this show. Now is the time to go start buying that stuff. Maybe 5, 10, 20, $30 now. Instead of $400 in 5 weeks.
Yep.
Start packing
Yeah.
it up now, put it out on a table, lay it all out, take a picture, call your friends. I've got this. Not everybody needs to buy a bottle of Advil. One person brings the Advil, one person brings whatever wipes, body wipes or whatever. So
boy,
not everybody.
that's not to be discounted either. Just a big old thing of cheap baby wipes.
Put them in
Absolutely.
Those
your
are.
cooler.
Hmm.
Those are
Put those
awesome.
baby wipes in the
Oh
cooler.
my God, Abby! Oh my God! Keep them in the cooler. Why
Yes.
didn't I
Ooh, that's
think
a
of
good
that?
one.
Yeah.
Also,
My whole life is why didn't I think of the best ideas in the world? Abby, what a great suggestion.
And along those lines, somebody bring a gallon of water or the 2 gallon thing of water and a bar of soap so you can wash your hands. I've told this story before. The first couple of years I did the sanitizers and thought I was clean, and then I left on Sunday or whatever, Monday, and went across the street to the gas station and went to wash my hands. Oh my God, it was
It's like a
disgusting.
film.
The
Yeah.
stuff that came off of my hands, and I'd been eating. Yeah, you want water. That little gallon thing that has the squeeze thing on it, that kind of stuff. Get one of those. My best tip, I've always said, go buy a case of bottled water, and I hate to use the plastic and then recycling, but start freezing them now.
Yeah.
Use those as your
Definitely
ice.
part of our do's and don'ts every year, but
Yeah.
that is a I mean, you can't say it enough. Abby, you had something to say, it looked like. What do you got?
Yeah, well, when Barry mentioned the sanitizer, it got me thinking. One of the things I did last year and I plan to do again this year is start boosting your immune system before you get on the farm, drinking emergency or different things like that, vitamins.
Bunch of vitamin
You're
C.
going to be
yeah.
exposed to so many germs and different people's
and
germs
and just
that,
Yep.
you know,
Collagen. I like
Not
that.
enough
what's
sleep. Yeah,
what's the
yeah,
word?
I was going to say
Pollute
that. Bring just as a side
the
note,
P
especially
word.
if you're coming from far away, bring allergy meds because you're going to encounter things that you're not used to in whatever your home region is. So I get allergies immediately when I get to
Yeah, knocks Beth
Bonnaroo.
over, knocks
Yeah,
Beth
I
out immediately.
Yeah,
I
she
wish I
especially
does.
could
if you're coming
go
from a different
early.
region.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
bring
think
that even if you don't
you're
usually
gonna
need them.
think you got Legionnaire's disease because I'm convinced that yeah, it's so yeah. Start hydrating, start walking, um, get used to. I
But
don't know, Beth. I don't know how you get used to the heat and humidity, but
yeah,
it's
it was rough
real.
last year. It was really rough
It's
last year.
real. People, everybody jokes, oh, the heat in Middle Tennessee. It's unbelievable. So what else? What are the other? Again, bring that good attitude. Uh, Acclimate yourself when you get there. Start looking for landmarks, especially at night, because it looks completely. Oh, that's what I was going to say. It is huge. The farm is massive. You can't understand how big it is until you get there.
We're talking about, especially from like a first timer or
First
a new
timer.
timer. Once you get to know it very, very, very well, it doesn't feel so big. But when you are just laying your eyes on this place, if if you've been told a lot about it and you're anticipating a really magically, wonderfully wild time, it is all of those things. And those and every it's a lot of stimulation, and it's gonna easily just distract. Oh, look at this! Hey, look at that! Hey, look at this! And next thing you know, you won't remember you were in pod 7, and
Yeah,
you'll
you
think, was
won't.
that 1 or 7 or 9?
1 or 7, but not just that. If you're looking at the schedule and you think, oh, I'm going to see this act, and then I'll pop over and see that act, and then I'm going to go out to House of Yes and see that act, and then I'm going to pop back and see the what state. You're not. It's too big.
Yeah.
As we've said, make your plan right now, get your schedule, write it down, plan for it, and then when you get there, throw it away because you're never going to do everything you think you're going to do. And that's not being snarky. You just can't. You
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
It's still
especially
fun
when
to
the
do
heat,
though.
when
It's
the
like
heat,
fantasy sports.
yeah,
Yeah, I usually don't even plan. I mean, this year I've planned it a lot more than I have because there are a lot of bands I want to see, but I'll often just go not even knowing who's there and just plan day by day because it's like whatever you can. Because you may think, I saw Michigander last night and it was so great, and I wish I had seen him at the farm, but it was at 2 p.m. or something,
yeah.
and there
Just
was
wasn't
no
gonna
way I was
happen.
leaving camp when it was that hot. So some of those afternoon ones, it's just not going to happen. So I don't want to get too excited, and then the situation just
Right.
doesn't allow me to go to these things.
Well,
Well,
I
let's.
mean, we're saying the same thing. It's like just let it happen and you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Whatever is happen is going to be great. It's never
Yep.
not great, right?
What
Never
do you
not
got?
One
great.
thing,
What do you
yeah.
got, Russ?
One thing you don't want to miss is Thursday at 4 p.m. in the Planet Roo on the house
Hey.
stage, you can see us live,
Come
and
see us.
figure that's worth a plug. We can, have a meetup there at Planet Roo, and we're gonna do a live podcast with Brad Parker, with some other special guests. We're gonna have a musical guest that we're working on, and then some people said
Well,
excited to come out and hang out with us.
definitely
We'll
good
drink
to
a
bring
PBR.
that. Yeah, definitely good to bring that up, Russ. But we will beat you over the head with this one between now and June.
Yeah,
At least we'll try not to do it too much. But we are looking forward to this. It's a very exciting thing for us, and it'll come together more over the next month or so. Russ, do we have any? Looks like the chat comments are piling
chat's
up. You want
blowing
to?
up.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
play. Let's throw some up.
Well, here's one. We got Bonnaroo in the chat. What's up, Bonnaroo? He
Bonnaroo.
says,
Bonna
Hey,
dude. Hey,
level up
Bonnaroo.
Bonna.
podcasts.
Hey.
One thing that's easy to overlook is a sleeping mask and earplugs for camp. He uses noise canceling AirPods and a fan sound app. That's a good point because
That's a good one.
you need to get sleep.
I
And you
use
need to
the
be able to
fan
fall
app on
asleep.
this. I do that.
Yeah.
I do that.
I use the foam ear plug. I sleep like a baby at Bonnaroo. Everybody asks me that. I
Yeah.
sleep like a
This, this
baby.
this guy, the rest of us are dying over here to get some shut eye, and this guy's asleep, snoring it up.
Yeah, no, yeah, the snoring is bad, and
No,
I
it's fine.
apologize.
It's fine. I'm just ecstatic. I think it's lovely. Somebody's getting such good sleep at Bonnaroo.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
What else we got in that chat there, Russ? I know I saw a
Uh,
few.
let's see. Lana said, "Get lights or a flag or something to help you spot camp at night farther away." That's a good point. 'Cause
That
like you said,
is
it
kind
changes
of
at
day
night.
one stuff, but people forget it, and the importance cannot be discounted in any way. Something that gives you that it's the totem concept, right? The
It is.
totem, the
Yeah.
totem of walking around. It's the same concept for your car,
Yeah.
except it
Yeah,
never
Get you
moves.
get you an AirTag for your car, and that way you can at least navigate back to it.
Well,
if
then
you're
there's that,
having
Yeah,
too.
trouble
because
finding.
here's what happens, guys. So you camp, you pitch your tent. You know it looks good. You see the guy next to you. He's got a whatever, a cat totem or whatever, and you recognize it. And what happens is, by the you leave, and then three other people move in and camp, and all of a sudden that corner changes. It
Yeah.
looks different, and that's what you don't anticipate. And then it looks different at night.
And then there's going to be a lot of people have those balloons and flags
Yeah,
that are similar
right.
because of maybe a character, like a SpongeBob character. I'm making stuff up here, whatever it might be. And then you're gonna be
Exactly.
like, that kind of looks like it, except those cars weren't
Yeah.
there before. That kind of looks like. So you got to keep that in mind too.
And you might have had a beer. You might have had whatever
I
things
hear
that
In
you
a
you.
different
guys.
state of
I hear
mind,
you
yeah.
guys still drink
Some
and
of you
get messed
people
up
do
on the.
things.
I hear
Whatever.
that.
It just changes. So yeah,
People
just
do say, drink a beer, drink a PBR with taco. I'm on.
Pondo, man.
That
I'm so happy
that's
he's gonna
simple.
be back.
Me too. I would also say join the Discord.
Join
We've
the
got a lot of people
Discord.
coming in.
We've got
We'll put a
lots of
link in
do's and
there.
don'ts. I mean, we can go through all those, but we've done them. Brad
Plenty going on.
Parker had
There's
some.
Beth.
There's Beth. She's
Here
back.
I am.
Beth
I'm
is
back.
back.
I think Brad Parker had two of my favorite ideas: drink lots of coconut water and the adult juice packs or
Yeah.
Applesauce.
No, it was applesauce.
applesauce. That's a great idea.
Applesauce.
Gonna do
Mm-hmm.
that.
I love applesauce.
Beth, while we've got you, what do we need to bring? What can I what can I promise that Taco will bring to our camp this year?
Yeah.
Oh
What can we
man.
make Taco do for
Yeah.
us?
But I'll do it. I'll bring it.
I mean, it's like Abby was saying. I think that's the most important thing that you were saying is about the immune. As long as we all stay healthy, we're all going to be happy. So, whatever's going to keep us, you know, hydrated and happy and
And
healthy
clean.
and
Yeah, there
clean.
you go. You said it right there. I was just gonna say one thing that I like about you guys, and we've always tried to do is keep your camp clean.
Yeah,
Uh,
organize it. Find ways
pol-
to organize.
Police it. We don't let trash sit around. Recycle. Be respectful to your neighbors.
Hmm.
You know, all that kind of stuff. Also, be mindful of your easy ups when you leave and go to Centeroo. A storm can come up.
Yes.
Put your
Oh
easy
yeah.
up down,
Yeah.
whatever, secure it, because those things become lethal.
I am so glad you brought that up because I think I mentioned in our thread, and right as we were trying to put together this week's show and what we were going to talk about, within 10 minutes, hour, whatever it was, Festival had posted some video that somebody had sent in from Coachella. You don't think of Coachella as it's California. They're not having any kind of weather that we're going to have to deal with in Tennessee, and there's canopies flying all over the place
Yeah.
there, and I'm the worst ever. I don't think I've ever staked down anything I've ever done. And
Was
I've
it
gotten
last year? It
very,
was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Where where we had the storm come up.
we had some weather and
We
somebody
did,
had to
yeah.
kind of stash my stuff. Yeah. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah. Our
around.
friend the Velans took care of us.
Yeah.
And Beth, I think you guys were back there and
It's
probably
it's
helped.
real easy to be
Yeah.
like, boy, it's nice out here and there's no wind and feels good and we're ready to go and everything looks good. Nothing staked down, take off, so cell comes through, all your shit's gone. Like,
Not just gone, but like I said, those things become
and dangerous.
dangerous. Yeah,
Dangerous.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
take out a car or you.
The chances are it's not going to happen, but if it does, it is going to be a really bad time and ruin
Yeah.
your weekend.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
also repair tape for your tent. So have somebody
Ooh.
bring one of those because I know there's a little hole
There
in
you
the
go.
tent that I bought last year. And if it does rain, you want to be able to fix things
I mean, I guess
on
if
the
you got
fly if you need to.
duct tape that'll work in a
Hmm.
pinch, but there's
Yeah.
probably even better tape out on the market that would be better for something like that, I would guess.
Hmm. Yeah.
what else you got, Ross?
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah.
Again, go back. We've done do's and don'ts. We can rehash all of that. You know, I've seen things. People's comments have changed about bringing things to cook. We've always said don't do it, but like we said, Beth, is it Mike that does the cooking?
Yeah. Mike does a lot. Brad does the morning. He does the burritos.
It
Yeah,
was
it can be
freaking amazing.
it was great.
So
Yeah. He does great
I've
breakfast
changed my
burritos.
mind.
It can be done.
Yeah.
It certainly can be done, but it can't be done half-assed. You got to have somebody who understands the grill well. You need a good grill too, by the way. Don't get some like $10 piece of junk that's got open
Well,
flame and stuff. I
along
mean,
those lines, if you remember, we had an injury. Was
yeah, that blew up.
Yeah.
A Coleman
okay,
blew up.
right? So be careful. Know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a really good point. Don't let your first time doing something be on
Yeah.
the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
If you don't know how to use a piece of equipment beforehand,
Do it
don't
long
do it
before
on
you
the
get there.
farm. Check it, and that's why we're
Yeah.
doing this show. Actually,
Yeah, I mean,
now is the time. Go out in the driveway. You
This
know,
is your
under
reminder.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had three different tents that I've used in the last like 18 years. I don't remember what I did the first like 5, but all three of them I showed up without putting them up before I got there.
Yeah.
All three of them. I didn't learn my lesson each time,
Mhm.
and I just did it again.
Yeah.
Don't be dumb like me.
I can't believe we're ending with this and not starting with this, because this is what I always say. Right now, take your equipment outside, put it up full fledged. Don't just put it up to make sure that it works, that the rats haven't eaten a hole in it,
Yeah.
that you're missing a pole, that you forgot that a pole was broken and you meant to replace it.
Or that you forgot you spilled a coffee all over
Exactly.
inside of it last year.
And it's dry rotted and stinks and it's moldy. Yeah, exactly. Take it out now. Wash it, if it's your sleeping bag or your pillow or whatever. Now is the time, because you don't want it to be Tuesday afternoon on the farm and you're like, oh man, I meant to get that one pole.
The suggestions for making your campsite great is not an hour or an hour and a half show. It's like a 5 to 10 hour show. I mean, it's a never ending dialogue and conversation. And Abby, you said it earlier where you've spent a lot of time on Reddit, and it's a good place if you can get through all the weeds when to get to the good information. As we do wrap up, Abby, your last thoughts on things for this year that you've learned from a year before, and just we're almost there. A month and a half barely. Just your final thoughts.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I want to hear your because again, I want to point out to people you had your wristband
Oh
stolen
yeah, we should reset that story.
and you got separated, and it turned out great. And
Yeah.
so that's sort of that's the point I want to make to
So combo
everybody.
all that
It's gonna
together,
be
however you want.
Okay.
awesome, no
Yeah.
matter what
Okay.
happens.
So for first timers, returners, but as somebody who was a first timer last year and did have, you know, how I even came to have a connection with you guys, my wristband being stolen, right? Take the negative for what it is, work within the bounds, handle it, find alternative routes, have other plans and set, and just trust that the farm and Rue will take care of you. You're going because it's an experience, and let it be just that. Take everything for what it is. Don't let the bad outweigh the good. Stay off of the socials during the festival. Enjoy the present and what's in front of you, not what's on a screen.
Good call.
And just be willing to be uncomfortable and open yourself up to others and what the festival is. Good vibes and enjoy every second of it. And yeah, I can't wait to see everybody there. And I honestly, the experiences I had are a story that I'll cherish, and it wasn't a damper by any means. I've thought about this festival every day for the entire year, and I am so stoked to be back in June.
Beth, what do you got for us here as we your closing statements, Miss
Oh man,
Storm?
that was so good. That was such a good way to end.
That was a good
I
one.
I would just kind of follow that with we're telling you to bring a million things. It really doesn't matter. We're saying all this stuff because it's fun to pack and plan and try to anticipate everything and bring everything. But you're going to deal with it. If you forget things, it's fine.
Just deal with it.
The lifestyle there, you're just able to be happy without a lot of stuff. So you want to do whatever is going to make you comfortable in the environment so that you can enjoy the moment. So,
Well,
but somebody else will have it. If you don't bring it, somebody else will have it.
as a majority of us on this call right now are of a little advanced age, I know having fun and looking good and looking pretty and doing all the things that everybody, all the trends is a big deal. But you want to have fun, right? You want to be comfortable and you want to have fun. And the more you can put into that, and then add everything else in that Abby and many of her friends and people more from different generations want to do, you can do both of those things. But damn it, be comfortable. Don't be sunburned. Don't be dehydrated. It's the same thing every year. Take care of your shoes and don't get hurt. And because you'll have a terrible time. I don't care how good you think you look. You won't have any fun if you're not comfortable.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
And everybody looks like shit because it's hot.
Right.
You get over that
Yeah.
real quick.
sounds like I would have said that. Barry's stealing my line.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you all. Beth, we need to talk and we need to get with the
Yeah.
dudes and
We'll be in
figure out.
touch.
We need to
Yep.
figure out what Russ needs to bring.
On how much more
Sounds
work?
good.
How much more work can we put on Russ?
what
help
else
us,
can we
help
make
us,
up with him?
help us out with that, would you?
Abby, thank you.
Always
Nice to meet
good
you.
be here.
So glad to that you're coming back and appreciate you sharing the story with us last year and all that. So
Yeah, of
you're a
course, I'm
valuable
excited
member to the Bonnaroo community. That's for sure.
Friend
Yeah.
of the
for
show.
life. Yeah, I'm excited. I would love to come watch you guys live. It's good to know you're doing that at 4 p.m.
Planet Roo,
So I'll be
Thursday,
there.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Did we mention that? Did we
Did we,
mention
yeah, we mentioned that. All right, when you guys both close or leave, whatever.
Wait. Let's.
Oh,
Okay, I guess Beth's out. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Oh, yeah.
46 days, by the way,
yeah.
until
40.
Bonnaroo. So, yeah, we'll see you there.
All right.